YouTube stream is going. There we go. Right, live stream's going, so we're live on YouTube as well. Hopefully you can hear me.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. Right, just click on this. Alright, welcome to those watching on YouTube, and to those of you in the Discord. I see you already. There's only Shanu and Simon here at the moment, so it's nice and steady, but I guess for the benefit of those that watch this back, because that's what I guess at least 50% of people are going to end up doing. So this is version 3 of our stewarding stream. In fact, while we're cooking, I'm just going to volume check on my phone. Give me 2 seconds, because there's no way of telling until you go live, really, whether it's working. Yeah, it sounds okay. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it should be. It's posted in announcements. Yeah, it's posted in announcements, mate. Thank you, whoever you are on YouTube, for confirming that. Right, so yeah, just to carry on the intro. So these stewarding streams, there was sort of an idea cooked up a while ago. This is the 3rd iteration of this. It's a very light-hearted, not serious. We're not here to call anyone out. We're not here to do any of that. We're all the old "it's an academy, bro." We'll probably get mentioned a couple of times. But you know, the idea is just to go through some incidents, see what could be done differently, just have a chat about it, really, and then any questions that the community's got for the stewards, fire them away. The duration of it is totally down to however many people choose to tune in and watch live and shit like that. So yeah, we're not going to take ourselves all too seriously. So I was going to hope for more than just 2 of you in here, so let me just post a little thing in general. Live now, folks. At Academy. Don't work. We'll see if we get any more. We will see. Let me come back to you guys. Cool. So, where do we start? I would say at the beginning, but I had a bit of a. I asked the stewards essentially, the other guys, what do we look at? I had quite a lot of suggestions, but what I wanted to do, what I was quite eager to do, especially today, is show you an example of perfection. And that's a very risky thing to say, I guess, but yeah, when you consider the fact that we have quite a lot of drivers now, you typically see lap 1 incidents be a bit of an issue. I'm just going to turn Lo-Fi Girl down. I'm just going to mute her actually, because she will get on my nerves if I keep her going. Yeah, I'm going to show you basic perfection. Now, anyone in the community remember what Zolder was like when we did it as the opening race a couple of seasons ago? Server 1 guys definitely will, because a certain Mr. Bollinger arrived and ruined everyone's day. Now, Teddy wasn't here tonight. We do remember, mate. It is ingrained into every fibre of my being. So when Zolder was announced on this calendar, mate, it really doesn't matter. I can see both. Whatever works for you, fine for me. I don't care. I've got both, so I can see you. It's fine. Yeah, when you look at how many cars we've got, so on this grid, this is server 1, there's 33 cars started this race. Now, granted, that's probably not as many as we had in the opening race a season or two ago, but 33 cars on a track like as older is still it's still quite a lot, because as you can probably tell, it's quite a narrow track. Overtaking's definitely possible here. It's probably fraught with a little bit of risk, but it's definitely doable. And that leads to a lot of sandy moments. Now, I'm going to show you the lap 1 from server 1. Basically, is an example of how to do it. We'll mix it up between this camera view. We'll ride on board with a couple of people. We'll just generally have a bit of a look at it. But to give you a bit of a spoiler alert, nothing happens. There's a little bit of painty contact. There's a little bit of side by side, tiny bit of door banging, but genuinely nothing that concerns the stewards. Like we were perfectly fine with this. No lap 1 incidents worth reporting. Server 1's a sweaty split. Like, this is where everyone practices. So turn 1, lap 1, all fine, all filter through. Anyone that remembers last season will remember that as a scene of absolute carnage. This corner that we're looking at now, turn 2, is where a lot of incidents happened last season. You're going to watch this. Lots of close racing, granted, but I'm involved in a lot of shite there with Fengler and everyone. I pretty much had hater glued to my rear end the entire first few laps. And there's really nothing. Nothing happens. Now, we looked back, I think Stephen mentioned it in commentary, that there's a couple of contacts. But we looked at them, literally nothing worth mentioning. Like, everyone was super clean, super respectful. Lots of just nice close racing here, like this up the chicane. Look at that, fine, backed out of it. Musa, who had a bit of a poor qualifying here, trying to get past the Porsche. Fine, no issues. Simon side by side with Matt Gale in his Bentley. He never qualifies. Thinks about throwing one down the outside of a Bimmer, thinks better of it, backs out of it, gives himself space. That's one of the contacts we saw. Again, nothing gained really. Like, it was just close racing. Fine. Jaeger went wide T3. Yeah, look, a lot of, it's going to happen, but when I tell you that we were shook at how clean lap 1 at Zolder was. Yeah, mate, it's got terrible contact physics. So yeah, look, it can be done. And I just wanted to throw this out there as a look. This is perfection. Server 2, was that Skirt? Getting it a bit wrong there. Yeah, it was. He went a bit deep. But look, what's this from Skirt? Does get it a bit wrong. Is able to avoid. There you go. Keeps his braking in a straight line. Dodges out when he needs to. Loses a bit of time, but is able to keep going and no issues. So yeah, that, ladies and gents, is how you do a lap 1. Server 2 wasn't as clean, but can't have it up. Can't have it our own way. So, right, what should we look at? When I asked the guys in the Stewarding chat what we should review tonight, I got a few suggestions. So, have I still got... I've still got Mizano. I've purposefully kept all these. That's the Endurance and Sunday Championship. We'll play this one. Let me load up the reports. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll talk you through. So this was race 1. So I'll talk you through what we did. I'm getting flashbanged by Google Docs here. I need to figure out dark mode on this crap. That's ridiculous. Let me get back to chat on here so I can see what you're all saying. I did see Lindbergh's in here. Mizano lap 1. I'm not going to Lindbergh's, don't worry. I'm not looking at you, mate. Don't worry. Did you actually have an incident? Yeah, spicy. Yeah, my advice was spicy limbop. By the way, general question before we look at this, like the advice I put on tickets, I try and be light-hearted. Do you prefer that, or do you prefer the genuine, like, official stuff? Genuine question, because I can take the feedback. Or do you prefer me taking the piss and getting a bit unhinged? Whatever. Mate, if you think like these stewarding meetings last minimum 2 hours, and we're all by the end of it, we're all a little bit ratty. And my way of getting it out is being a sarcastic bastard in the reports. You get to learn which drivers can take it as well. So, yeah, it's fine. Right. You wanted me to look at Fengler and Young. Right. So it's lap 9. So it's turn 11, apparently, with Fengler and Young. Right. Yeah. So Fengler can definitely take the banter. So Mizano was the opening race of the season. We had 39 cars in here. You might have to remind me what turn 11 looks like. Apparently it's between Fengler and Young, who I can see is a couple of cars ahead. So we'll try and find it. There I am, look. Oh, right. I remember this one. If the incidents between people, you know, I find they're taking the piss, actually, it's a bit more serious, could be bad, yeah. Taking the piss, yeah, cool. And that is a very valid point, Limbs. You know what? When it's server 2 guys, I do try and be a little bit more serious, especially if I don't recognise the name. So it depends who it is. Like if it's Tetley or I was just trying to think of more server 2 guys. I know I can take the piss out of Steve, and he won't. He won't care. In fact, he'll probably encourage that. Whereas some of the other guys, like the Van der Veldes, I didn't really know them at the start. So at the start of the season, I was being a bit more serious. Then they sort of enjoy the banter, so they start getting it a little bit more. And I try and do play on words, and Pat Fortune gets a lot of it as well. Hater just got it, mate. Hater just, yeah. Right, so let's relive it from Fengler's POV then. So, Fengler's not had a great lap 1 here. He's losing a couple of positions. Fengler can sometimes be a bit too respectful. He's got Lewis syndrome a little bit, where Lewis will just back out rather than having a fight sometimes. Fengler, however, has got a little bit more spicy, but with that comes a bit more risk. So let's just play this incident through, and then I'll talk you through. What's going on. Cheers for the sub, by the way. So I sneak my way through, and apparently Fengler was really pissed off about this in chat. And there we have it. So, have a look at it from Young's point of view. So we'll go back to this corner. So Young's already had a bit of an incident. Just noted separately, I think. So he gets a little bit of a tap there. Really good control. Nice little brake application. Gets himself back going here. Not bothered about that at all. It was perfectly under control. And then he's just in this sort of blind spot of Fengler's, and Fengler does just move over and kills a man. And then that happens, but that's not really Young's fault. So what we established, I guess as far as this one is concerned, is pretty straightforward, guys, isn't it, really? This one isn't too difficult. We gave Fengler a 10-2, which is pretty much... A 10-2 is a standard car-on-car collision. Pretty much. Unless it's just one car on one car, a 10-2 is typically the default that we go for. If you see lower than that, we've mitigated it for some reason. Or if you see higher than that, we've obviously taken other things into consideration. So 10-2 is sort of like the baseline, and then we change it depending on that. What we sort of saw with this one, take a few things into consideration. So Fengler is probably aware that he's not got a great exit from the corner before, because I'm overtaking him. My thought process on this originally was that he probably can't see Young on his radar. I was told that's probably untrue, and he probably can see him, that his focus is probably elsewhere, and Fengler just takes his line and catches Young out. So that happens. Spatial awareness, usually stress, worry. We know what Fengler can get like. He can get a little bit sort of in his own head sometimes. And unfortunately, he takes out old age. Yeah, old age definitely. What more can be said? I'd love to give Fengler more shit, but I like the guy, so I don't. Yeah, a little bit too early, and this was one of the things we thought about. Is he trying to get my slipstream? I don't think so. He is too nice. Yeah, I don't think so. And yeah, you're right. He is turning in a bit too early for that. So I don't think it was a defensive move over. I really don't. It's too early in the straight for that. And too close. I actually couldn't tell you what was going through Fengler's head here, but we gave it a 10-2. Pretty basic, straightforward collision as far as I'm concerned. Lewis has said Mazzano split 1, lap 5, turn 4 for Farmer and Van Holland is another one to look at. Farmer. Lap 5, turn 4, so it'll be. There we go. I forget Mazzano gets all his corners out of the way early. Just a lack of awareness and focus on you would be my guess. Yeah, I think you've nailed it, dude. To be fair, because apparently he was swearing in chat that I always get lucky on lap 1, and then he was swearing at me. Apparently, I wasn't in that chat, but yeah, apparently that's what he was doing. So he's probably looking at me going, "You." Anyway, by the way, while you're in here, I've got 5 of you now, so thank you for joining in, all 5 of you. If you want to look at anything specific, maybe an incident you were involved in, pop it in chat. I've probably got the replay because I've saved them all from this season, knowing how we're going to do one of these. Stick it in chat and we'll have a look at it. Still this. You want to look at yours? We can. We'll come back to it after the farmer one. Yeah, that's fine. Start of server 2's old. Oh no, don't make me relive it. But yeah, we can. I want to see the thought process. Oh, you don't, mate. Right, so Farmer's got a nice little run here. Van Holland is the Porsche. Farmer gets a little bit of a nudge from the Aston Martin. Can't remember who that was, so he flashes him. And then send, spin, rejoin. God, Lewis did say there was a lot in here. 7A. Yeah, no. Is that you, Hater? No, mate. I'm not getting my channel banned. Oh fuck! I've lost it now. I should not watch this. Right, let's break this down a little bit then. So this one was a little bit spicy. I'm just going to find it on the ticket sheet. How about that, mate? We go through it. Where is Farmer? Apologies, guys. I'm trying to find it on my sheet. There we go. Right. God, I've just read my advice on this one, which probably isn't broadcastable. Right, so there's a couple of things at play here. Now, you have to take the human element into account with these collisions. We don't get sucked into taking emotion out of it, realise people get emotional. So the first thing took into consideration is this. And Farmer's going to be a little bit annoyed, because from his POV, he just thinks this Aston Martin's turning out on him. That isn't the case. He just gets a little bit slippy. The reason we know that is because the flash. And then because he's too busy flashing, he's late braking. And takes out Van Holland. I know he didn't aim for Van Holland, it's just the pathway he was going. And then the second part of human element is just nailing it and turning the car around and taking out poor, who is it, 297? Who's 297? Jude Neville. Who is, like, Jude Neville is the Steve Tetley of Server 1. He is the eternal victim. If ever there's a crash and Jude can get involved in it somehow, he will. He'll be there all the time. So, yeah, as far as thought process on this goes, honestly, this was quite an egregious one to look at because you've got two things. We've got the collision, which in itself, the collision is probably a 10-2 because he takes out a man. And then you've got the immediate turn left onto the racing line when you could have just turned right away from the racing line and rejoined more safely. And that is honestly what he should have done here. Turn right on the racing line, crack on. He does that. Originally we all wanted to go a bit heavier on this one, but we opted to go for a 20-second penalty and 4 licence points, which for me, if I'm being honest, probably a bit lenient. Personal opinion. He affects quite a few races in this one and made some not so wise decisions. Weird thing is, Farmer's a fast driver, he's a quick driver, and I know he knows better than this. So I think when you're in Server 1 especially, the expectation on your racecraft, your awareness, is a lot higher. Start at lap 5. Yeah, you were, because you do your starting at the back crap, don't you? So you sodded off at this point, Simon. You were ahead of these guys. Yeah, they're a couple of cars behind you, mate. They're here. You're there, look, you see, so you can see it. So this is Flynn's chasing you down, and then suddenly he gets assassinated. So yeah, with Server 1, we expect better standards, and we hold the Server 1 drivers to a bit of a higher standard as well. Because to reach Server 1, you should have the pace, you should have the racecraft, you should have the awareness, and the sportsmanship as well. Sportsmanship is a huge thing for us. Yeah, well, I mean, it is. Like, Jude was just minding his business. Jude had no reaction time to that. And he was slower. He was, like, not accelerating when he could have done, and yeah. And then chaos reigns behind him. Right, let's have a look at you then, Mr. Limburgs. So this is first race of the season. Again, thinking of driver's mentality, have we looked at your victimisation? Which one, hater? Because you have many. Which one? Because you did have an incident here. Was this the you inventor one? You inventor and gamble, that one. We can go and have a look at it. Anyway, we're looking at Limburgs. So, Limburgs and Chris, both in Hondas, two of the fastest drivers in ARA, consistently at the top of the standings, and they start the first race side by side. Fireworks were always going to happen. They do work quite well together, these two, in fairness to them. They do just work and race together quite well, but we'll watch it from Lim's POV. So he gets away really well. He's on the inside for T1. Chris hangs it around the outside. Really nice and respectful so far, but there's a little bit of contact there, and that just affects Limburgs out of that corner enough, and he's a bit later on the brakes, and then we've got that. Now, that isn't really egregious as far as we're concerned. It's not him trying to, like, take Chris out. It is just his, like, slower out the turn before and just wants his position back, essentially. So he just sends one down the inside. Yeah, And Chris would probably agree, you know, if Chris jumped in here, he'd probably say the fucking same thing. And the penalty we gave out for this one was just a 5-2. Again, car on car contact, subject to a 10-2 traditionally. But it wasn't really that bad. And both cars get back underway again pretty quickly, and that was one of the causing factors. They both lose positions. Ryan and that looks like Carl go through. And ultimately, Lindbergh's maintains his advantage. Is the outcome included in the evaluation? No, really. It's, you know what, David, if I'm being frank and honest with you, it is really hard to not consider the outcome, but we try not to. I think subconsciously, do we consider what happened afterwards and what positions they were in? Yeah, of course we do. Of course, we probably do have that thought in our heads, but it doesn't formulate part of the core decision, if that makes sense. Yeah, and there is arguments for us to do that. It's hard to ignore it, but we try to not think too hard about you know, the outcomes. Sorry, I best reply to the missus or she'll have me. Oh no, she's not messaged me, it's someone else. It's a group chat. Yeah, it wasn't an egregious thing. It's a hard one because part of me wants to just go, well, it's fucking racing, isn't it? But ultimately, Lindbergh's got the overtake done, maintained his advantage by sending it up the inside, causing contact and kind of forcing Chris wide. So, yeah, is it penalty worthy? Yeah, it is. Is it egregious? No. Does it need a massive penalty? No, it really doesn't. It is hard racing, but ultimately we have to deliver a verdict on it because an advantage was gained. So that's kind of the thought process there behind it. Had Lindbergh have given the position back, it probably wouldn't have resulted in anything because that advantage has been mitigated, and because it was a lap one incident, would have probably looked at it a bit differently. Maybe someone would have reported it different. I don't know. There's so many variables to it, but we've had, and there has been one this season where the same shit happened. In fact, it was Fengler. The same thing happened, and he waited and handed the position back, and we just went NFA because you didn't gain an advantage on it. So you didn't. The overtake didn't work for you, so you just gave it. And in fact, it was Hayter that did it. So it was Hayter that was the victim. So yeah. Outcomes can be considered in some circumstances. In your opinion, should be racing incidents. Lindbergh just went slightly wide, not cause a collision. Yeah, and that is a valid point, Simon. Yeah, but still should have. Yeah, and yeah, Lindbergh's has got the right sort of thought process there. Yeah, but this is kind of, if he did not turn in and avoid, no penalty would be issued. Yeah, and this is one of the sort of things, Simon, is that you sometimes get punished for being a cleaner driver by anticipating the dive. I'm not saying Chris ain't clean, by the way. Don't come for me, German boy. But more, Chris probably just wasn't expecting this. And then he probably just wasn't expecting Lindbergh to be cooking as hard. But these things happen, it's racing. Anyway, not really not a huge one. It is difficult, and you know what? Some of it is just us going, we've got to make a call. We have so many arguments in the steward's office about this sort of stuff, and we all have different opinions. We would all judge things differently. In fact, I can tell you the appeals haven't been posted yet for this week, but some of the appeals we outsource. Someone who hasn't looked at the original tickets deals with it, because we all don't agree on certain things. And there's one of the appeals in there that I don't agree with. That I don't think should have been a penalty in the first place, but it is what it is. We have to make a decision, and sometimes Lewis just comes in and makes a call because he's head steward. So it's down to Lewis. Right, Hater. Let's have a look at you. Where are you, mate? Where are you? You're here. Right, where are you? It's a ticket. So it was lap 2, turn 2. Yeah, no worries, Limbs. No worries, mate. So lap 2, turn 2. And server 2, boys, if you're in here, if you want to have a look at anything, do let me know. I've got some things. I had Chinese. Let's see the fortune cookie. I don't want to know what sort of fortune cookies your Chinese place delivers, mate. It's yeah. Let's not go there. Set the scene then. So we've got Hater in P34 chasing down a huge gaggle of cars. Now we don't look at this as far back. He had low FP. He fucking did as well. Venter sends one up the inside. Hater sees it coming, gives a little nudge to give him the space. Really good racing by Hater. Venter now is on the outside, and the space has been given. No issues here at all so far. And then there is that. This one got appealed, didn't it? Let me just have a look. Where's the appeal? Where's the appeal? Cool. So we gave on this one. I love how you're just getting weird in chat now. I love it. Keep going. We gave on this one a 10-2 to Hater and a 5-1 to Venter. Yeah, and that Limbs, you've pretty much banged it on the nail on the head. That was what I was saying. They both just dove a little bit, and they were. So you'll see Venter gets his little unsteady moment. Controls it, but it happens with the Aston. Controls it fine. And there we go. Now, Venter would have 100% made that if Hater wasn't there. Yeah. Well, if Hater wasn't there, he'd have made the corner. But for me, Venter didn't account for Hater being there originally. On appeal, Venter's penalty got removed due to the space being closed off when should have been left open. So whoever reviewed the appeal on this one thought that Hater just closed that door. You can draw your own conclusions reading this. Yeah. Venter would have made the corner if Hater wasn't there, but Hater was there. So it's kind of got to... At some point, you've kind of just got to make a decision. But does he deserve space? And yeah, Limburgs, that was sort of my viewpoint, is that no. When he had that wiggle, for me, and Venter will disagree, a lot of people will disagree, for me, once he had that little wiggle and lost that speed, that's your sign to back out the corner and just live to fight another day. But Venter's about as hard a racer as they come, and he'll always have a pop. And then we've got that. Hater's POV leaves the space, takes the corner nicely, leaves the space on the inside, but then takes the corner. Probably not accounting for the fact the Aston Martin was there, had a bit of an overlap. Don't get wrong, by the time you brake and turn into the corner, he's ahead. Anyway, 20 FPS. But in such a short time, client close like that, an unstable car, you'd not brake during back wiggle wheel. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. He did have it under control again by the time he was... the wiggle isn't huge. Like, if I just take you on board, it's not a big wiggle. It's a little wiggle. And I can tell you in the Aston, they do that and you catch them immediately. It's not a problem. So, yeah, I mean... This was one of those weird ones that none of us agreed on. If I'm being honest, and Paul's my teammate, LNR, I had this on Venter, because he sort of sent it when he shouldn't have sent it, but yeah. This is a very good example of us not all agreeing, because we didn't all agree on this one. Yeah, and then Finley gets caught up in it. Poor Finley's another one. He bloody gets caught up in loads of shit. We got so good more of it. Like no matter what time event break, he was always end up there. Yeah, yeah. And you're beginning to sort of see now why when we review these, and there's so many different trails of thought, you see why we get conflicted, and you see why you know, sometimes we just have to make a snap decision, and it's why we make a massive point of saying we are not above making mistakes, because that's definitely not the case. 2-0 England, by the way. Yeah, we're not above making mistakes, because they do happen, and that's why we have fault in the stewarding process. I should be on better to follow safely. Yeah, hey, I don't. Yeah, cool. Right, let's have a look at another one. What else has Lewis suggested? Alton's. Oh, right. Okay. You want to see a rejoin. You want to see a rejoin. Let's give you. So I raise your farmer rejoin, and I give you. I'll give you this. Yeah, and oh yeah, I started at the back for this one. I just fancied a bit of fun. Where's Fingler? Where are your things? There you are, P17. You're seeing what's about to happen. Alton Park. It's about as popular as sliding your backside, wiping your backside with a cheese grater for racing, because it is very narrow, it is lined with grass and danger, and it's really hard to overtake you. So we did Alton Park. God, what race was it? It was race 2, actually. And then we had this incident. Now, this was... where was it? Was it lap 5, turn 4? I just put it as offence war crimes, because that's essentially what it was. We had a few different things going on here. We've got Van Holland involved, we've got Fengler involved, and we've got Scriveris involved. Yeah, so let's have a look at Van Holland's part in it first. So, bad exit out of turn 2, I think it is. Matos getting a really good drive up the inside. And then we've got... That is catalyst number 1. So catalyst number 1 is, I think, yeah, it's Spitzer. Spitzer sees this going on and does the correct action of going to the inside. He's on his brakes a little bit, he's lifting. Spitzer's a bloody good driver, to be fair. He sort of sees this coming. He's kind of backed into a corner as far as an outcome is concerned, and then, yeah, Flynn moves over on him. That's point 1. That's where shit starts to go wrong. Enter Mr. Fengler, who, seeing all the cack above, gets absolutely cooked by Scriveris, and then comes to a rest here. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, let's play a game of what would you do? Reverse. Yeah. Go forward. Yeah, go forward. You drive forward into the path of oncoming vehicles. Set you on board Mr. Pirags, who is following Shergill's Nissan. Yep, jump scare, and then gets killed. And then Lewis gets killed as well. From Fengler's POV, like, granted, you probably can't see what's coming very well. You've got your relative, so you can sort of see a little bit. But he's obviously getting his car back in gear. As soon as his car's back in gear, he starts again. Now, I got the ultimate jump scare here because I'm following David. just about missed. Just about missed all that. Right, so as far as the stewarding process goes on this one, how do you unpack that? Well, sort of how I started really. We take it through step by step. So I'm going to see anatomy of an incident. So there's a few things that made this one up. The catalyst for it all was Flynn. It was Flynn and Matos' little. So this is the start of everything. That little innocent tap, which on its own, no problem with that at all. It becomes an issue when Flynn, going back to the racing line, just doesn't see Spitzer in time. Due to the speed difference, Spitzer gets there very quickly, and Flynn just doesn't see that, and that happens. Shit happens, it's fine. But then that causes Flynn, Spitzer, and I think Diego's trying to take some avoided action already. Bloody good car control from Diego, to be fair. That just then slows everything down. He probably forgot there's a gap in the wall. Yeah. If you no longer go on the track. Yes, I don't know what you guys are on about, in fairness, but there we go. Right, so that's that one. Fengler arriving on scene. Could he have been more careful, to be fair? I think his approach to the incident was okay. He slows down enough. Yeah, that acceleration there wasn't necessary, but it's probably a muscle memory thing. As soon as he sees stuff going wrong, he's on the brakes. I'm okay with that. We then have to separate a little bit away to look at Scriveris, and the reason why Scriveris gets a fun point on this one is because he just does the opposite and just speeds into it and then causes that said gap in fence that Limburgs was on about. And then yeah, we've got Fengler re-entering the track. So there's a couple of different things at play. We ended up giving Flynn a 15-3 for this. Remember me saying our 10-2 is sort of the basic. Flynn's was seen as a bit more egregious because of the cars it gets involved in, and just generally the nature of the incident that he starts justifies it. Fengler gets a 10-2 for his unsafe rejoin and killing a car, and then Scriveris for arriving really fast on scene. I can't remember if this got mitigated down because of a self-report. That might be another thing as well, but there was a self-report in there. Skibbity suffered from... Yeah, but he did indeed. He did indeed. He was carrying a success penalty as well. So that's that one. I have one in that race which I didn't report. Actually, Flint might be lap 2 or 3. Let's have a look. It ain't 2. Yeah. Okay. Alright, well let's review this as if you'd reported it then. So, what have we got at play? You're ahead. Do you get a little bit... Yeah, you've got to cook a bit too hard. So your approach speed to the corner is a little bit slower. That allows Flynn to catch up. Flynn probably just doesn't account for that in his braking and brakes at his normal point. And slight contact is made. Your car control's really good. You get the car back under control. No issues when you're getting back up to racing speed. Now, you will have suffered a little bit of damage in that one. Not a lot. You will have suffered a little bit of damage, so will Flynn. What Flynn does here would be the important bit for me. He's waiting. He's not taking advantage of that. Yeah. And he's just, yeah, he's not overtaking. So what I would probably suggest on that one is that's just a no further action incident. Like, yeah, glad there was an accident. I don't feel it needs any further action on that one. Some stewards may be like, well, he lost a position. That can definitely be taken into account as well. Who got ahead? Someone did. An Aston. Is that? Yeah, it's Shooting. So yeah, Shooting got ahead, and it's not really class position, so it kind of doesn't matter. Although overall position does still matter, to be fair. Personal opinion, David. I would have recommended no further action there. I'd have just said nothing gained, nothing lost, really. You've both got a little bit of damage. It ain't the end of the world. Cool. Yeah, what do you, any thoughts? Okay, David, let me ask you a follow-up question. If you reported that, what would you expect? What would you expect to come of the report? And that's an open question. I'm not leading you into anything with that. What would you expect from the report? And while you're doing that, I'm just going to scroll up in the chat and see if anything is said. I had to watch this whole video in case it was you know what. In case it was what? Hater. If you're not waiting, cause yeah, a nail on head. You know what? If he'd have done that and then overtaken you, he'd have got a penalty. Don't DM me then. So because I don't know what you're on about. Just drop me a DM. I'm going to show you a little bit of my weirdness, right? So I've got a Bailey's, but then I've also got just off to the side my chicken and rice for the night that I've been eating since I got back from the gym. Body's a temple, boys. Body's a temple. Intention was there for causing a collision. Is it? Definitely DM me. Yeah, and it's hard to prove intent. We've had, I think, 2 this season intentional contacts, maybe 3, and they've taken an absolute age to get to the bottom of. What was Flynn's intent here? I don't know. He's not diving to the inside. I think he's just got his braking a bit wrong. Personally, he's probably just a bit late on the brakes for me. I don't think he did it. I don't think he purposely meant to hit you. And he just taps you under braking. You obviously have really, if you just span out on that, probably a little bit different. He could have braked earlier. That would have been the advice. Like, do what you need to do to not hit the car in front. But yeah, he doesn't gain an advantage on that one. Let me have a look. Oh shit! Sorry, I've clicked the wrong button, boys. I'm giving you it back. There we go. Sorry, it's back. Let me catch up on chat. Not like he did that on purpose. Could have, had front damage as well from lap 1, and together with that, yeah, David, that's a fair point. I think it's just that David cut the left-hander too hard and still broke normal to take it safe, and Flynn broke on limit. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. And what we don't want to get into the habit of is slapping absolutely everything. We want to allow a certain degree of racing. I am big on the drivers sort of sorting it out between themselves. So if you just resolve it on track, just let him carry on ahead of you or what, that'll carry a lot of favour with me especially. I know some of the other stewards are a bit more like, no, we hit him, he deserves a penalty. Yeah. Right, anything else from Alton Park? And then I'll move on to Red Bull Ring. Milano and you. Yeah, Miles. And I've got a fucking good example for waiting dangerously here, actually. I'll look at the Milano, the SMJ one. Same lap you pitted. Did you report it? So Milano's behind you here. What happened? I'm trying to remember it. I think I've just remembered. Yeah. You did. Right, let's have a look. Let me find it on my sheet. Spitzer Van Herder, Henneke Domingo. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Split 2, Mazzano. Don't need that one. Split 1, Alton, ICBM. Farmer Gale, me and Jar. There we go. Right, so let's see what happens. Right, let's just rewind it a little bit. So, tell your tyres are past their best. Defensive line. Ahead, ahead, ahead. At least he tried to put you back right again. Yeah, okay. I've just seen this as a 5-1. And I'm pretty sure that that's got 10-2 written on it all day. I can't remember why it's a 5-1. It might have been self-reported. Might maybe self-reported. I can't remember, to be brutally honest with you. That would normally be sort of argument for a 10-2. Milano just carries a bit much. I say bit much speed, but more speed than you because his tyres are probably he's pitted the lap before. You're pitting, so there's a big sort of tyre difference with that. You're going to be slower in and out of the corner. Milano's fresh tyres. Had time to get them all warmed up nicely. Aero car with aero corner, that's a very good point. And yeah, he just makes the contact on the way out because he's just got better drive. So yeah. And of course with this one, Milano just carries on up the road. Yeah, that one was judged a 5-1. However, there's a part of me thinks that that was mitigated for some reason because he might have self-reported it. Does not look like it, but race ending contact. You were P7 before you stop. Bearing in mind you're probably up there because a lot of drivers have started pitting. P19. I know you were come from the back missile. You finished 21st, yeah. So it, yeah. So plus damage you got. Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. So I had a bit of a lap one kerfuffle. So I started at the back. This was me. Concertino effect. And then I give Simon a good old crunch. Bang. You said there was a dangerous waiting to give position. Yes, there is. It's in server 2. I'm going to go and look at it in a while. I just can't remember where it is. Unsafe rejoin. I'm just trying to find it, Miles. Yeah, so this lap 1, basically Captain's ahead. It's already a collision happened. 137, that's Matsushima. Van Herder, I think it is, yeah. There's a little bit of a ding-dong there. In fact, that had already happened. So Matsushima had already tagged Gale. And then it is just called a concertina effect. Or as Lewis loves to say, concertina. And then I'm at the back of that and I give Simon a damn good hit for his efforts and obviously spinning round. Now that is NFA because, well, it's concertina effects. It's just one of those things we can't really do anything about. Right, I'm trying to find this weighting. Later, I think it's that one. Right, let me go and find the replay. Give me 2 seconds. It is called concertina effect, yes. But Lewis says concertina as 2 separate words, unironically. What am I getting pinged for now? Nothing. Yeah, let's have a look then at. So it is Depot and Slater. Let's look at Slater. Wherever you are. Slater. From memory. Right, here we go. Also, I see it written concertina. It's sort of an inside joke, Miles. I'm afraid it's an inside joke that I probably don't expect everyone to get. Can we skip? Yeah, well, we're looking at this one, Thomas. We're just looking at this one, but this is an example of how not to give the position back and how not to wait, I'm afraid. So we're on board with Slater in his McLaren, and you're going to watch a little bit of contact with the Ferrari ahead. Okay. So the contact's happened. The Ferrari is now backwards. If you're in this position, what do you do? Me bomba clad. Yeah. So the expectation from the stewards here, if you want to give this position back, get off the racing line and slow down. There is this little cut through area here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. I don't know if you can. You can't on stream, I don't think. There is a little cut through there. Yes, Simona will. There is a little cut through there that you can just pull in, wait, and then crack on. Yeah. Perfect, Miles. That's exactly how you do it. You know. And I'll play through what actually happens. And there's a Ferrari, and off he goes. Now, that was with the best intentions. He meant well. He just executed in the wrong way. So, this is just on the racing line. This is where drivers are kind of thankfully Slater's near the back of the grid and he's not got a load of people coming past him. But yeah, that's not how you do it, I'm afraid. That's asking for trouble, really. So you're waiting on the racing line, tight corner, Alton's tight anyway, and he got a couple of license points for his trouble on that, unfortunately. But he waited. The intentions were there. He was trying to do the right thing. I think I'd have just rather he gone into this little turn off there that you can see straight ahead of him. Or worst case, like Miles said, drive on, wait off the racing line somewhere safe. Pull off track. It's not going to matter. Yeah. Rejoin like a dumbass. We've all done it though. This thing we've all rejoined like arseholes. None of us in it are 100% like clean. Right. What else have we got? I said we'd have a look at Red Bull Ring. Now, I've not looked at much Server 2, so we're going to stick with Server 2, boys, and we're going to look at Red Bull Ring. What happened to Server 2 Red Bull Ring? Let's have a look. Quite a lot. Have I got the replay? No, that's my split. Mazzano. Have I got? I don't think I've got the replay, so we can't look at it because I didn't get the replay for server 2. So we'll have to look at server 1. Red Bull Ring. Zolder. Why Zolder? Specifically. We've kind of already looked at it. I'm happy to go and look at it again, but what are you specifically wanting to look at? Okay, so we have rain conditions here at Red Bull Ring, and that can only mean one thing. We're going to have a lot of... I want to see comment on Fengler. Slow driving, trying to give possession back to Hater. When did that happen? Zolder. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know the one. Yeah, I know the one. We'll load that up. What I'll tell you what, we're gonna look at this. Whatever happens here. Yeah, I remember the incident. Then I'm gonna go to the toilet because I need a wee. And then we'll crack on. And it's 10 o'clock now, so we'll give it about another 30 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up. Well, yeah, we can have a look. So, by the way, if you're in the audience, either on Discord or watching on the internet, let me know if you want to see something specific or if you've got any questions or anything like that, because we are running leaner on time now. And by the way, if you want more of this sort of shit, fine. I'm happy to do these more often. Obviously, we would need I guess, the input from you guys, whether you think it's a worthy thing to do. Right, let's have a look. Lap 1. Zolder, lap 1 set to... Yeah, we can have a look at that, Thomas. No problem. Right. I'm going to show you something that is an absolute clusterfuck but got put as a racing incident. So, sharp end of server 1, Serodio. Yeah, I'm going to after this. I think I'm next to Serodio here, because I get caught up in this. There we go. Hell broke loose. In fact, I'll give you a really good view of this. No, don't want that. Want that. Sorry. Welcome to serve 1 in the rain, ladies and gents. Constantina. And yes, that from Milano James did get dealt with separately. Filed under terrorism offences. In fact, I think that was a separate incident. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. So Milano James got 2 points for that, and then got a multi-car for something that happened earlier. Yeah, so that is an example of a lot of that got put down as racing incident because a lot of it was concertina, a lot of it was drivers not being able to react in time. Nothing really anyone could have done on that. It just cars ground to a halt. Miles wants us to look at him. Who are we to turn him down? Where are you, Miles? There you go. What are you doing there? Let's have a look at the Saudi and the Audi. I know you're not Saudi. Bomboclat. You get a helpful push up the hill. Yikes, dude. Yeah. What? Yeah, but he's not trying to do anything. I don't think he's going for an overtake here. Yeah, I don't think Serradio is doing out wrong there. Like I say, we looked at this. We looked at everyone's POVs. This incident alone, I think we were deliberating on for about half an hour. Yeah, it's not Andre. Andre's fine. Leave Andre alone. Yeah, the rejoin got dealt with. So the rejoin was something different. Can we comment on your rejoin? What are we just here to? Is this a Simon show? Where's your? Let's have a look. What do you do? So you get a whack. Ooh, God, you're getting bullied here, aren't you, dude? Right. Yeah. Okay, I remember this now. Go bowling. Literally go bowling. What do you want me to comment on? So this rejoin that you are seeing got a 15-3. Reason for that is it affected directly two cars. You want us to have a look at your incock. Yeah. Now, do I think you did that rejoin aiming to take out Paul Finley? Absolutely not. Is this Ferrari a potential issue? Maybe. Would you have been straighter if that Ferrari wasn't there? Maybe. Should you have waited and taken it a bit more carefully? Definitely. You were flat out on the rejoin. That was sort of the issue. Flat out, and obviously took Finley out. Now, whether you'd have seen him on the radar, sort of 50-50, only you really know that. But the fact of the matter is, you were just full speed, and maybe it's frustration. I think frustration played a bit of a part in it, and just wanting to get back on track. You certainly wouldn't have needed to just stop on track and wait, but certainly lift a bit, check your surroundings, see who's there, and re-enter. Yeah, shit happens, dude. Like, Finley again. Finley gamble, innit? Skirt kills. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they were there. And I think you only didn't know they were there because A, your radar wasn't warning you, but your radar has a limited range. And B, you could have checked. It's hindsight. Yeah, it is. It's 100% hindsight. We can all look at these things and go, yeah, you should have done that. But in the moment, we all do these things. So this really isn't. We're not here to single anyone out for any particular reason. I'm gonna hold off on my way actually, and we're gonna wrap this stream up in about 20 minutes tops, and then I'm just gonna go to bed because I'm nearly done with my drink now. Yeah, let's have a look. What else have we got in Red Bull? Let's have a look. See what other stuff we've got. What else have we got going on in here? Yep, you did. You told me. Yep. Sorry. Zolder server 2. Do you always lift when you rejoin? Not always, but unless you 100% know the circuit's clear, do you think it's better to lift or not? If you don't know, if you have no awareness that there's any other cars there because you can't check or you haven't checked, is it wiser for you to just go ping? It depends. Completely depends on what's going on. But again, this is hindsight zone. We are looking at this after the fact with full awareness of everything that happened before and after. When this happened in the moment, you didn't have that advantage. So we're certainly not here to point fingers or make anyone feel bad for what they did. We're just looking at it and learning from it. Simple as that. We can go and have a look at some of my shit if you want, because I'm sure I've been involved in some stuff that I could have improved from. No one is here to call anyone out. Right, we're looking at server 2, Zolder. I should have it somewhere. There it is. Baccalar, anything in particular you want to look at, or do you just want a general sort of look at server 2 lap 1? Is there anything in particular you're looking at on this, mate? A lot happens. Do you want to see last corner? Cosma, how you doing? Tell you what we'll do then. We'll do what we do when we look at lap ones. So the way we tend to divvy things up in the stewarding team, straight after the race on a Sunday, unless we're all a little bit fried, we all try and meet up in the Discords and we play through the lap ones for both servers, and we just try and get things noted down and get a preliminary look at what goes on. So this normally then means looking at lap ones and just saying, right, these are the incidents. Server 2 at Zolder. So we'd already looked at server 1 and gone, oh, this is great. No incidents in server 1. That's amazing. And we're all unironically buzzing with that because, well, we were expecting hell, if I want to be honest with you. Where are the cars? Have the cars come through? Yeah, there we go. Chaos is unfolding already. And then server 2 happens. Simon, that's exactly it. If you knew, hindsight, didn't have it. So it's fine. We're not here calling anyone out, mate. Now, my first sign that things were going to be a little bit wrong in server 2 at Zolder was the grid positions that people were taking up. I don't know if something went wrong because there is a car in the pit, so I don't know if it got a little bit messy. But the people aren't in the right grid spots. The game doesn't give any penalties for this in this occasion, so they must have been where they needed to be. But that's you, Thomas. Why are you there? We've got a Porsche, and this Porsche, by the way, is about to commit a war crime. Unknowingly, by the way. Yeah, exactly. The radar was like, I genuinely, the amount of people that were doing it, mate, it's not a singling you out thing because everyone was doing it. I think the radar messed up on this, and that's part to blame for what's about to happen. So you start, literally, start, we are racing now with full contact on, and you are physically inside Badass. You have inserted yourself inside a bearded man, which I'm sure he enjoyed very much. I'm genuinely curious what happens when you two separate. Like, does it think you've crashed? I don't know. Anyway, so we were watching this, and then we thought, oh, nothing's going on, and then we see this going on back here. And that happens primarily, I think, due to this little bug, because Van der Velde is in the middle because he's following his line, and then it goes green, and then he turns in to get back in position, and there's a car there. Yeah, so it's if the other family arrives later. So the first contact is that. And who's P25 there? Who's that one that he hits? There's Volt. So that is J van der Velde. And then S van der Velde is... Where is he? Oh, he's right. Sven's right at the top. Sven had a very eventful race at his older. He was involved in a lot of stuff. Not purpose, you know what I mean? He wasn't crashing everyone, but he was just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time a lot of it. So look at the gap. There's a gap. The gap where he should have been, he wasn't there. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you whether that was on him. I don't know. So, playing that from his perspective. Ah, wow. Interesting science. Yeah. First, we got a multi-car and we're not even down at T1. That's basically the first thing that I said. At this point, the game's like sit at 70, and then we're waiting to go green now. And at this point, we're still ghosted. But the split second before the green light goes, he turns right. I don't know. I don't know why he's outside of his box. I couldn't tell you. Don't know. But he didn't get a drive-through for it. So, obviously the game's happy with what he did. Yeah, I have no idea. Anyway, let's go back to F7 free cam. And we'll just have a look at turn 1. And we'll sort of run you through a bit of a lap one. He literally didn't know it himself either. He told me, yeah, that... I don't think Van der Velde did it remotely purposefully. Genuinely don't think that. So turn 1 is older then. What I find with server 2, and something we have to take into account, server 2's got a very broad... So in server 1, you've got diamond, platinum, gold. And in theory, there shouldn't be too much in terms of pace between those 3 splits. You've got the extremes like your Limburgs and your Chris, who are fucking ridiculously quick. But on the whole, the pace should be about the same. So everyone's braking points are roughly the same. You're within a certain sort of degree of lap time, you're roughly the same pace. Server 2, you don't have that. So server 2, you've got people in silver split that in theory... in theory, should be ready to go to server 1. They should be, the people that have got the white name boards on here, these guys should all be ready to go into server 1 and have the racecraft to race in server 1 and the pace and everything else. And then you've got iron drivers on the other end of the spectrum. Either iron drivers are people that just do it very casually, just come on and have a bit of a laugh, or are very new to sim racing. Basically, the unknown, and you have all sorts of different variations in iron. There's a lot of very quick iron drivers, but there's also guys that are brand new to sim racing. So you've got like Ocleon here. He fucking rapid, this dude, but is iron anyway. So that accounts for me for a lot of incidents that happen in server 2 because of the difference in pace that you have. Everyone's braking points are different. Everyone's lines are different. Is a sandbagger? Yeah, I think he is as well. The people who know, yeah. And this is evidence here, look. Look at how much different everyone takes that corner. And there's absolute clusterfucks happening, by the way. It's chaos. And again, this kind of is another pile-up that's happening. Poor Perry. Yeah, Perry got tagged. And it was... So, the incident that Perry got tagged in was Perry was just a kind of an innocent bystander in this one, in that he's just taking the corner and gets relted from behind. Morley gets a 10-2 for that, because really I can only blame Morley for what he does. He's not responsible then for anything that happens afterwards, technically, because he's not doing it. So we gave him a 10-2 for that one. And then there's, and that whole thing really can just be concertinaed. This rejoin here, we decided not to do anything about that for 2 reasons. So Morley isn't doing anything wrong when it happens. And this Ferrari, oh shit, 143, whoever this is, Stoltz, is just avoiding the slow Ferrari ahead of him. Lenient, up to you. Up to you. Don't forget, I'm not saying we give allowances, but you have to judge it on what it is and what we see. You'd see it as a multi-car probably. Yeah, there's arguments for that. And I remember that discussion being had. So if we have a look at Morley. Now, where multi-car? This is the outcomes thing again, isn't it? So if we judge this on outcomes, yeah, it's a multi-car. Do you think holding brakes that's going to affect it too? I don't think it is. Like Perry, I think is on brakes. I can't remember. I've tried to erase this from my mind. At that speed, brakes isn't going to do it. It's still going to be in the middle of the bloody track. But I think that was a separate discussion. And it was deemed not to punish Perry for not holding his brakes. The holding brake, right. I'm going to clarify something. When we say hold your brakes following a collision, we only mean that when you're stationary and in control of your car. Until you've got control of your car, holding your brakes could spin it worse. So when we mean you're not holding your brakes, we mean you're stationary on the track and you're releasing your brakes and you're rolling, or you could have held your brakes and prevented it rolling even further. When you're that much out of control of your car, it doesn't always have the impact it should have. Yes, David, but not in all circumstances. You are right 75% of the time, but that 25% is where we give leniency. And yeah, we have to take that, I guess, into account and just think, if he'd have held his brakes when he got absolutely welted there, would it have changed the impact of what's to come? Maybe a little bit, but in this case, it probably wouldn't have done too much. Can we follow from Oak's perspective to turn 3? Of course we can. Of course we can. Where is Oaks? So, Oaks, let's have a look. That's your Porsche. You narrowly avoid it. Oh, you've got it. That's you in it, in that white Porsche. Alright, so you get a little tap there. In your opinion, Morley did cause a multi-car collision. Okay. But you're looking at outcomes. Is that an incident? Is that a race incident or not? For me, mate, and I really apologise if I butcher your name, Becklar, but is it an incident? Yeah. Is it worthy of anything? Probably not. Like, I'm just going to call you Ricky. Yeah, he hits you, mate, but I would probably just say that's a racing incident, stroke NFA. It's a small tap. No one's affected by it. You don't gain an advantage. You might get a little bit of damage, but not a lot. Thomas, you're welcome to come and speak, mate, because we're going to wrap up soon. Bram, I'm not that drunk, mate. I'm only having. Tell you what, Thomas. Right. Hello, Thomas. Are you here?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. Yeah. So you've made. I'll tell you what, Bram. This is all recorded for YouTube anyway. So if you want to watch this back, it's going to be on YouTube to do so. So you can do that. We've not gone through tons. I've not got that drunk because it's a weeknight. And it's not got completely unhinged, so you've not missed loads. So you give them a 10+2 because we're not looking at outcomes. Right, Simon. As you know, every situation is different. With this one, we have to take a few different things into account with Morley. The collision he does is he hits Perry because he's late on his brakes. Here. We have to then make a judgment call. Everything that happens from now on, is that on Morley? So Perry spinning into the path of some other cars, is that on him? Him being slow off track, is that on him? There's an argument, 100%. You could have the argument that it is, but we elected to say it wasn't. And again, that's a judgment call.
We have a tendency to look at the other cars involved, and we try to see if did they have enough time to react. Say Perry hits Oaks in this situation. Oaks probably would have no time to react whatsoever, but the cars behind Oaks, for example, we would look at them and see would they have time to react? Would they have time to do anything about?
I'm going to go to the toilet and get a drink and I'll leave you with the kids. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, yep.
So Thomas is going to keep you entertained.
Yep. Yeah. So, yes. You are right, Becklar. If Morley didn't hit Perry, nothing probably would have happened. But that comes into effect of, like, that goes into the stuff with the butterfly effect, which we don't want to touch because, okay, so Morley don't hit Perry. But what if in the universe where Morley doesn't hit Perry, Oaks goes wide and hits Perry, or whatever the fuck, and chaos still happens? That's why we mostly look at the actions leading up to we look at the actions leading up to the incident and as little as possible of what happens afterwards, to the effect that if we deem that the other cars had sufficient time to react or do any evasive maneuvers, at that point we end the incident. And then if more happens, that would be another incident. So David, so that comes in with what I said with the other cars have time to react. So if Perry hits Oaks, we would look at that and think, Oaks would not have time to react. So Morley punted Perry into Oaks, and therefore he would be then involved in the original incident and not a possible second incident. So when we see huge, bigger accidents that might involve more than 3-4 people, but we haven't judged it as a multi-car incident, it's because we have looked at it and think we would look at it and basically judge based on if other people had the time to react.
Okay, I'm back. Right. Where are we at? So what I don't want to do, by the way, people, these sessions aren't to. I guess healthy debate is good, but what I certainly don't want to do is start looking at incidents and sort of casting blame and stuff like that. Like ultimately, we've had to make a ruling on something. As I've sort of pointed out, and I think everyone hopefully understands that sometimes we just have to make a ruling for whatever reason. We're not above being wrong with it, and we're certainly happy to have discussions. I obviously missed what we've been talking about. I just heard the headset going wild. Let's have a look. What high
Simon, the difference is the difference is you can.
I think what Miles has said is
Yes.
quite a good summary.
What Miles is saying, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it's at the rate of which the accident happens, and based on if other people have time to react to it. If it's fucking if there's a corner with fucking 3 wide, 4 wide or something, everybody's bunched together, and somebody comes barreling through and takes out, the last guy hits the next one, the next one up in a line. There will be more cars involved because none of them, and that would be a multi-car.
Yeah.
Because nobody had time to react. But if Perry spins, stops, and then 5 seconds later, 8 other cars ram into him, we can't fault Morley for spinning Perry, and we can't fault Morley for the 8 cars ramming into him.
Yeah. And then you've got to draw the line where concertina effect is at play as well, and it's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. We sit here and we have these debates ourselves, and I remember the debate of is this a multi-car coming up in the Stewarding chat. We had this discussion. We try and think of a few things. So, is there a precedent for what we're looking at? So, has this happened before? Have we got something we can relate back to? Have we got anything we learned from that? With this, yeah, there's probably a few things we can call back to. Could the incident have been avoided? Like, how many cars were involved? What Thomas said about the cars approaching from behind, could they have had reaction time? Are they to blame for the multi-car as well? Ultimately, my thoughts on this is Morley should only be responsible for the collision between him and Perry, because ultimately that's all he caused. Sorry, I have a tough time explaining it because in my head it just goes a different way. Yeah, we just have to make a bit of a decision, I guess. So yeah, Perry Spinalas, lots of cars get involved. I genuinely think a lot of those cars couldn't have done much different. They didn't have the reaction time.
But it's still not necessarily their fault.
Yeah. Who else are we looking at? Where's Cox? Where's Bram Cox? Because he's in chat. Are you in here? There you are. You had an alright race,
Exactly, David. We looked at the other cars having enough time to react, but also we can't really fault them for not having. There was enough time to react, but we couldn't really fault them for not having like superhuman reaction time and being being able to avoid absolutely everything. We're all humans.
Yeah.
We make mistakes.
Do we show them the thumbnail collision? The
sure, go ahead.
McLaren space program, because I feel we need to move on from from T1. So we'll look at a couple of others from server 2. Casey Jones, I believe, was the founder of the McLaren space program. Where is he? There he is. Right. Okay. Noted. So that's one incident, and then you're about to see the foundation of the McLaren space program. And then poor Boris gets battered in his Cheeto. That is you, isn't it, Thomas? Yeah, I think
Hey,
that's
no.
No, the other
Yeah,
Thomas.
Boris. Yeah.
So we've got two things at play here. So the first thing that Jones does is he tries to overtake Tetley. You know, that never happens. We're not sure. We can draw conclusions, but what I think happened is that because he's here, he's not got a great view of his braking point, and I think he just misses his braking point. Tries to shoot for a gap, misses it. The gap turns into Bella's, and then, yeah, sort of hell breaks loose. And then due to what I can only describe as blind panic and sort of going back to someone else's point earlier of we don't know what they were doing at the time, whether they were looking in the rearview mirror, texting the girlfriend, looking at porn, we don't know. But this happened. And then he sends a McLaren into space. So yeah, we don't know. I guess we have to look at it and go, we have to assume he's racing and looking at the screen. So we can't take you gooning as a mitigating factor. I did something similar to Tarmo on Indy. You T-boned him. I can't remember. Space program. D was lagging. D's always lagging, mate. He's got like Primark internet. Yeah, but he was literally. Where is he? So this is D's back shots. Yeah, gets literally all four wheels off the floor. I remember Casey mentioned that McLaren spawned in server 2 chat or something. Now, right, this is a good point, Miles, because whoever we get this replay off, and as you know with ACC, it shows their point of view. So, unless D was lagging for everybody, we won't see that. There might have been occasions where we might have gone to D and just said, yo, can you send us your replay? And it might have shown a different thing. And then we had something similar at Mizano, didn't we, Thomas, where... Who was it that just vanished? Wasn't Gale, was it? I'm sure it was a Server 2 driver that just vanished at Mizano. Now, on the standard replay, it just literally looks like he dives down his inside and the car that is overtaken just wipes him out. But on his replay, he's not there. He doesn't exist. So he's driving the corner and then suddenly a car spawns. Was it Matt Gale? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Matt Gale and McLaren. So server 1. Right. Anything else?
Actually, I've been muted for a while. Sorry.
I
still want to touch on what Miles was saying about the spawning in front. So another factor about this is that if Casey Jones has his the amount of car rendered lower, that might have caused D to show up in the very last minute if the amount of cars visually rendered is low enough. Because he only shows, say you have 10 cars rendered at any given time, it will it will only show the 10 closest to you. So if it was only 10 cars and
yeah, I have that. I have my cars turned down.
For example.
I have them turned down.
I have the cars turned up in order to be able to see everything, because that is mainly based on graphics card.
Yeah.
Because the cars, even though they're not rendered, your CPU will still, generate the physics and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So that might have had an effect as well if Casey Jones had less cars rendered.
So I have mine set at 20 because I've still got a 3060, not even a Ti or a Super, and it's starting to show its age. I do need an upgrade. I just can't afford it right now because I keep spending. I'm getting a new exhaust fitted to my car on Wednesday. I keep spending my money on daft shit like sports exhaust and stupid stuff. Right. What else have we got to look at in here? Is there anything else from Server 2 Zolder? Well, there is a lot. Before we go and have a look at Fengler at Zolder. I'm just scrolling through the sheet. Sorry, go on, Thomas. Let's have a look. I would like to see lap 1 and that chicane because I don't fully understand. Okay, we can certainly do that. There's a couple of chicanes. You might have to give me a bit more info, but we'll see. Say lap 1. Yeah, you did. Right, let's get third person. I've skipped it. You mean this chicane?
I believe he means the first chicane, possibly.
Because you did nothing wrong there. You're just a victim. Yeah, you just get targeted. Right, let's have a look first chicane then. I don't think you're near anyone, are you?
Left 2 by this point. Something.
You're right. Ignore me. Sorry. Right, I know. I remember. Right. I know what you're on about. I know what you're talking about because we've been talking about this in your ticket, haven't we? Right. What I'm going to preface this with, this is under appeal. The appeals outcome hasn't been posted yet.
So there's not much we can talk about and disclose about what's happening here.
However, look, appeals are dealt with separately to us, so someone else looks at those. Me and Thomas have no insight as to what the appeal outcome's going to be. We know the same time as you guys know. We literally, that's how we find out. What I'm happy to do personally is give you my personal take on this. I don't know, Sam. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm here with you lot. I don't know. I think Lewis is doing something with him to get him. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm happy to give you my personal opinion, but I will preface that with this is my personal opinion and not an opinion of the stewards overall. If you're happy with that, I'm happy to give it. Okay? So this collision that we're looking at is one between Boris. Let me find it. Let me find it on the sheet, mate. Give me a sec. So much happened in Server 2. Yeah, you're fine. There we go. Right. So this one got a penalty to Boris, and I'll play it through from his perspective, and we'll talk about it briefly. Okay. So that's the collision. Now again, there's a few things at play for me on this one. You have got Boris and who's that? Who's that in the Ferrari? It's a Sarko Ferrari. I'm guessing it's Stoltz.
No,
it's Scott.
T-Scott.
Ignore me, Scott.
Yes.
However, the overlap's not there entering the corner because Scott's got a bit of a better speed going down the straight. And then you've got the Norwegian jump scare coming up behind, who has got a speed advantage on both of them and can overlap. And there's contact. So my personal opinion on this, and again, this is just me, this isn't the opinion of the stewards, you delete Adrian out of that and the contact still happens because it happens before Adrian arrives on scene. And that contact just happens anyway. Adrian just makes it worse, basically, by existing. Adrian's dive is the definition of ambitious, in my opinion, and it isn't on, personally. And I think I put that in the advice, didn't I?
Yes, that is
Adrian,
correct.
know when
And
I'm
this
moving on.
one was
Yeah,
also one with where we were rather we had our disagreements internally with this one.
of course. So hence why I'm saying this is my my opinion. What I will also say is Mr. Hagen isn't allowed to talk about this in the steward meeting because he knows Adrian personally. So
Yes, I'm a
yeah,
personal friend with Adrian since sixth grade. No, first grade. We were 6 years old. Because of all of that, in order to avoid me being overly lenient or overly harsh on Adrian, I just stay clear of everything that has to do with Mr. Morwood.
yeah. Although, if I'm being honest, if anything, Thomas is more harsh on Adrian than all of us lot put together. So, yeah. Anyway,
Because I want him to be good to
you
drive
you
properly and
you
all
want
that
him
stuff.
to.
Yeah, that as well.
So that's my job next weekend when he comes over to England. Right. So yeah, personal opinion. For me, that incident is happening regardless of Adrian's presence. It's under appeal. I hear an approaching child. 1 second. You're getting a drink. Okay. What have you got in your hair? Just come here. Right, you need to just poke your head in front of that camera. Camera's there. You can't. Well, come here then. You need to see this if you're on YouTube. No, here. 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 Come here. Just a Viking. Come here. A Viking. Just look at that camera. Come here. Right, go away now. Go away. Right, go away. I'm busy. Go and get your drinks there. Right. Yeah, right, go away. I'm busy. I'm doing adult things. Go away. You should be in bed. It's like 10 to 11. Child. Right. Cool story. Start a podcast. Right. What was I saying? So with this incident, I mean, again, personal opinion, and you're welcome to sort of ignore it. Sorry, I mean, I'm not saying it's Marriage fault, but I was forced to go straight at the apex. Okay. And again, this is under appeal, so this sort of stuff is being considered as we speak. What I did note, Thomas, is you altered your line. Good night. Have you brushed... Cool story. Have you brushed your teeth? All right, go. All right, go and brush your teeth then. Don't have kids. What?
Children, am I right?
Yeah, don't have them. Don't have them. I noticed you adjusted your line a little bit. I did see that, and that's your awareness. But personally, you still hit the car ahead without Adrian sort of pushing you into it. I can't blame Adrian for that contact. I know you're not. For me, the contact happens regardless of whether Adrian's there, but that is why we've just got personal opinion. That doesn't negate the fact that Adrian, for me, shouldn't have made that move. You don't going too wide there's risky. 3 wide is fucking ridiculous, guys. The second Adrian sees you go for that move, in my opinion, the second that happens, he tucks in behind the other Ferrari. That's what I would do. I would be going right now and tucking in. Personally. But yeah, for me, and I'm sure Adrian won't mind me saying this, Mr. Hines on YouTube, good evening. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's under appeal, so I can't comment on it too much. But I think the incident happens regardless. Adrian's stupid for making that move. That's my 2 points.
I will say I was talking to Adrian today. I picked him up from a party, and we did have a small chat about this incident. And when he was making that move, he actually wasn't aware of Scott on the outside. How, I don't know, because he was there, but it is what it is.
He races in VR though, doesn't he? So
Yes.
right,
He didn't realize that the Professor was there until
I could
he
see
was
him.
there.
I could see him. So he's there.
Yeah.
He's there. Yeah. I'm sorry, Adrian. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all.
That's fair.
Right, but yeah. Anyway, it's under appeal. The outcome may get changed, and if it does, and Thomas will back me up on this because I posted it in our Discord a couple of days ago. We need to take appeals a bit more seriously. So if an appeal gets rejected, why? Is it because new evidence wasn't presented, or because a fault in our process couldn't be proven? That's a different thing. But if an appeal, if our verdict is overturned, we have to learn from that as a stewarding team, and we have to look at it and go, what did we get wrong originally that we can learn from and take it into future reveals? We're never going to be perfect, but we'd also be a little bit daft if we didn't try and learn from things that we've got wrong. So that's how we genuinely are going to try and look at things going forward.
Absolutely.
Thomas,
also,
you've mentioned this ban thing a couple of times, dude. And again, I'm not gonna speak too much because it's under appeal. But there's a few drivers that have had these bans. Become a bit of a Thursday merchant. When you get back into it, and we'll help, mate. We will genuinely help. Like, we don't want anyone to feel like they're being pushed out of racing. That is not what we want. We don't want anyone to feel like they're not welcome in ERA, because everyone's, well, within reason, most people are welcome in ERA. If you genuinely try and race clean, and I think you do, you just seem to get involved in a lot of stuff. But please work with us. Let us help you. Get involved in that. There's lots of other racing you can get involved in. It would just, if you do get a ban, it's just a Sunday one. Sorry, Thomas.
And also, all of us stewards are more than willing to sit down with you before every race and basically give you safety pointers for the tracks.
Yeah, and the driver coaches as well. Don't forget, there's all the driver coaches that will happily spend time with you as well. So we don't want you to feel like, because I sort of get the vibe from you that you're probably a bit disappointed in yourself for getting probably the ban if you do get one. And yeah, you might feel a bit crappy about it for a little while, but please don't let it get you down long term. Yeah. Didn't see it. Yeah, you can, Carl. You can double. Discord chat is better than YouTube chat. Don't stop racing just because you cannot on Sunday. Yeah, fine. Another question. I'm wait. If I get the ban, do the points reset? Good question. I don't know. I don't know if the license points get reset. I'm actually not sure, but we can get you an answer on that. I don't know. I don't deal with the points. I don't get involved in that. I do know that Chris with a K is looking at. I think he wants to change it. I think
there might be some changes around the accumulation and decrease of LPP. Okay, so where is that, Bekalar? There is a chat. There is there is a channel for it. I think not there. Where is it?
Is it not? Yeah, it's in the incident reporting room. There's a link to it. I think Darius posted it.
Yeah, it might be in the incident reporting room. There is, the license hub that Darius posted.
Yeah, it's in there. He said PP. Who said PP?
Me, LPP.
LPP. Yeah, more one of me's enough, mate. My other half will attest to that. Right. We want to look at something with Fengler, don't we? Fengler's been a bit of a victim tonight in this stream. This will be the third time we've called him out.
Nice dancing up front there.
Thomas, I do it all the time, mate. So in the stewarding room when we're doing things, so normally one person is on the game doing the replay, and then usually me, I'm doing the sheet, and then Thomas is in the sheet as well sometimes. And Thomas has to correct me because I just put fuck this license bollocks, and then he has to correct it to whatever it is, LPP, because I just lose my temper with it and just put loads of swear words.
DT plus 5 LPP turns to DT plus 5 fuck yous or something.
Something like that. What are we looking at? So it's Fengler v Hater. Where does it have? What the hell? What the hell?
It might be Hater up ahead.
That is, but I can't remember what happened. That's Hater sending it on me.
Yeah. Gith.
That was dealt with separately. Where does it happen?
Lap 5, lap 10.
That's Hater.
Oh.
No, he's still up there. Hater had a really good race until he didn't. So boys, we'll find it. These guys were close for a while. There we go. Right, I think we found it. Right, so yeah, 10-4. So yeah, we looked at this. Can't even remember if it made it to tickets. Yeah, it did. Lap 12. It was fucking. It's there, Chris. You twat. Right. Fengler also got a season ban, and he's obviously doing fine. Right, incident. So off goes Hater. You can see Fengler up ahead, maybe slowing down. Oh shit! So Fengler can't quite give the position back because he's going a bit too quick. So he can't give the position back right now because he's about to do the chicane. So he waits here. Now this is the issue. So Fengler slows here. And I pointed this out because then Matsushima arrives on scene. Isn't expecting Fengler to slow and then just has to back up. And then in comes Kosu. Yeah. And then gets involved in all sorts of shenanigans. But Fengler's intentions are pure here. He obviously has the contact with Hater, which is very minor. It's just he thinks his Hater's clear of him and is still on the brake, so he's not. Immediately goes to wait, and Fengler will do that. Like he will, if he thinks he's at fault for something, he'll wait all the time. He just does it slightly wrong a little bit later, but we decided not to punish him for that because I think his intentions were right. And Matsushima wasn't asked about it at all. Didn't care. So, yeah, the factor in this is that no one was really bothered by it. So it's a smack on the PP. Yeah. Was it another? I don't know, Miles. Maybe. Can you look at my lap 4 chicane? Yes, we can. Which chicane? There's a few of them.
There's chicane.
That?
This.
Oh, you killed Musa. It was you. I wondered who did this. So this didn't get reported, so we haven't seen this yet. So let's have a look. Is Musa already losing control?
There's a lot of fucking bouncing over there.
A lot about it. No. I think he had it under control, it was just bouncy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't he report that? Penalty wise, Carl, like knee-jerk reaction, mate, it'd be probably a 10-2. It's no worse than that, I don't think. That's a knee-jerk anyway.
I'd look at maybe a little bit lower myself.
Yeah.
5-2 or 10-1 maybe.
Okay.
That's what I would have looked at.
It's probably fair. And then we check to see if Moose has rejoined his fan, which it is, because I remember I'm in this group somewhere. There I am. Being chased down by Hater. So yeah, probably 5-2, 10-1, something along those lines. It wouldn't be massive, but it probably would be a penalty. Reasoning. So you can see how bad that boy's bouncing. What's your inputs here? It's full throttle, basically. Yeah, for me, you can see his slowing. For me, you should have probably avoided him a bit more. Personal. You talked to
That's
Carl.
what I'm saying, Miles. That's why I would have lowered it a little bit.
Yeah, you talked it out after the race as well, which is exactly what we want drivers to do. In theory, we should be a bit of a last resort. But there we go. What did Mar say? Yeah, like Hines bombed it, but would say the bounce has been weirdly unpredictable. Could be a mitigation factor. Yeah, definitely could be. Paul Whitburn requested to speak. Do we allow him on? Do we allow him to speak?
Yeah, sure.
Let's bring him in. Have you done it? Because it's gone.
No. Yeah, he unrequested.
I don't know if you actually wanted to speak, Paul. You're not in the audience anymore, so I don't know.
He has requested again.
Right.
I don't have access to.
We'll bring you in.
Allow.
Hi guys.
Hi mate.
Hello.
Sorry to interrupt. Hello. I've joined up on your Sunday league.
Yes.
Done the qualification races. I'm trying to work out. Is it gold, platinum, and whatever race all together? Or is it separate races?
All together, mate. Yeah. So
all together. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll. I guess we can cover this separately. But what license have you got?
Gold at the moment.
Gold. So you'll be in server 1. So server 1 is diamond, platinum, and gold. Yeah, we all race together, but we have split qualifying.
Okay, yeah, so long as it's the same race.
Yeah, mate, you're in the same race. So golds are these on, I don't know if you can see my screen, but golds are the ones with the red numbers.
Yeah.
Platinums are the silver numbers, and diamonds are the white ones.
Yeah, okay. My son and a friend of ours have also joined.
Nice.
My son will be up at the front. He goes like a startled ferret.
Oh, will he be challenging Chris and Limburgs, will he?
I suspect so.
I hope so.
Good.
That'll be nice.
We need more.
We need more.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
It's quick.
He's quick. He's quick.
Good.
Yeah.
In fact,
Okay.
Chris said he'd been racing with a new guy, so maybe it's him.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Okay. Sorry to disturb you.
All good,
That's
mate.
what
We'll see you a week on Sunday.
Is it a week on Sunday?
Week on. There's no race this weekend. It is season break, and then we'll be back week after at Kyle Army.
Okay. Yeah. Is it worth me doing any more qualifications? Try and get faster. It's all going to be the same league anyway.
Up to you, mate. Completely up to you. You can do. There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah.
But don't forget the car you've put your license laps in is the car you'll have to race on Sunday. So if you want to drive a different car, you'll have to do your laps in a different car.
Yeah. All three of us are in the same car. And do you do
Super.
team competition on Sunday as well?
Yeah, you can make a team on the website, and you can all compete for points in the team or join a team that's already running.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks. Sorry to disturb you guys.
All good, dude. All good.
No problem.
Okay.
See you
Cheers.
later. Bye, bye, bye. Right. Any questions or incidents you want us to look at, or anything else that you feel as the audience that we've missed, or do you just want to shout abuse at us? And by the way, I'm not above being called a cunt. And I don't, yeah, it's fine. I get called worse daily. You're welcome, Simon. You're welcome, mate. Like I said, I wish I could do these more, but life takes over. You know what it's like. So I enjoy doing
Worth
this
noting.
stuff. Go on, yeah.
Yeah. Worth noting that any decisions made is based on majority votes within the stewarding team. So when we come out with outcomes, we might not all agree on them, but it has been a majority vote, and we all respect the majority vote.
Like there's usually one or two a week where we don't all agree on it.
Most definitely.
I'm fine. I've still got a bit of my drink, mate. I went and got myself another Baileys when you were all talking. So I've
Baileys.
got.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's winter in
It's
winter in the UK, mate. That means I'm tapping up on Baileys. Bram's older, lap 39, turn 1. Let's have a look. Let's see what happened. Oh, that. You on about that? Nah. I'll tell you what though, in Oak's fucking horrible to get past. He's so frustrated to overtake. He was in server 1 last season. Oh my god, he's so frustrated to get past because he's really good at defending. Yeah, that was fine. No issues there. That was clean as. Lucasen did a similar move to me in our server. Lucasen properly good overtake on me. Yeah, that's fine. No issue. Great move. Got it stopped. Didn't contact him. Little bit of that's. I ain't got a problem with that. I don't think Oaks would have an issue with that either. What the fuck's that guy doing? Jump scare. Yeah, I don't. No, the bump's fine. Yeah, that's all.
Small contact. We often ignore. It's rubbiness racing, a little hard racing with a tiny contact. It's nothing we really look at.
Yeah. So I'm just texting my girlfriend back, or she'll think I've fallen out of you. Yeah, I mean, there's learning in everything, but there's not a great deal that It's not a lot. Like, I'd be proper clutching at straws if I'm going to give you too much. Yeah, it's a really good overtake, to be fair, mate. So well done. Does anyone know when appeals go live? Now is considered late. They should be live now, but I think there is a delay.
I am in talks with the independent third party to get the last opinion on the last appeal we have. After that, we'll wrap everything up and post them.
Yeah.
So hopefully within the hour. It's going to happen very soon.
Yeah. So as far as appeals go, like anyone that was involved in the original incident, which is usually always me, Thomas, Lewis, Skitty, we don't deal with the appeals usually. That gets handed off to like a third party. We might chat in the ticket. Like, if you've made an appeal, we might pop up in the ticket and be like, have you considered this? But yeah. I don't know if I'd say it's hard, Thomas. I would say it's time consuming, and it's not rewarding. Like, what do? You just get called a prick. That's literally all I get. All I get is shit for stewarding. But if it helps the community, I'll do it. But yeah, there's been a couple of times when genuinely I've been like, why do I do this? Why do I devote hours to do it? But it helps the community, helps Fengler out. We do it because we enjoy doing it. So yeah, and that's why I try and make the advice a bit light-hearted. And I think I asked at the start of the stream if that's the way we want to carry on with it, and yeah, if you're happy with me carrying on being a little bit of an idiot in the advice because it helps me, then all good. Is there anything else anyone would like to look at before we wrap this up? Or any questions you've got? That's all. Hello to Myra on YouTube. Many of the incidents are idiotic as well. Yeah, they are, but I think what you've got... I say you've got to remember, David, you know this, mate. We're not pros. We all make mistakes. We are just people who sim race. Like, we're not... Oh, it's you. Oh, right, okay. This is a hobby for all of us. None of us are professionals at sim racing. Well, Chris and Limburgs might be. We're not above making mistakes, and we don't sort of look at it and go, oh, you should have had the awareness and speed reaction to do this, that, or the other. So idiotic incidents are going to happen, especially when we are focused at bringing people through like the iron ranks, so to speak. So yeah, server 2, mate, is the petri dish of idiotic incidents. They're just everywhere, but they're gonna happen, mate. We accept that. That's fine. My first race, the advice was top tier. Ford is American and can't do two things at once. Yeah, I remember that one. Can't corner and put the power down at the same time. Why would you do that in a Ford? Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not... Server 1 has its incidents, as you've seen from the ticket. Ours just tend to be born out of sweat. I'll put Lo-Fi Girl back on, actually, so we've got a bit of background music. Anyone that's raced in Server 2 for pretty much your entire time, you want to try and do a Server 1 race at some point, because it's different. I get the feeling it's just a different vibe we have. It's a lot sweatier, it's a lot closer. You'll get squeezed to within an inch of your life. Yeah, you have a corner named after you. We are renaming Turn 4 after you. Thomas is bang on. This is called the Boris Conundrum down at Turn 4. That was Thomas's idea to name that corner after you. So I was writing a different advice, I think, and Thomas overwrote it. I was like, keep that, it's better. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll keep trying to do the funny stuff. Well, we all will. Can I have Red Bull race Turn 1 named after me? Why? What did he do? I've got to see this now. Split to Cox. What did you do? I'm literally reading the.
Wait.
I'm looking.
Were you the one that?
Have I got it?
Were you the one that just absolutely fucking missed the corner, Cox?
I don't think I have the replay.
Oh.
I don't think I have the replay for it. Yeah, I haven't got that one. It is the only one I'm missing. I'm just reading through the. I will have seen it. I'm just trying to remind myself what it was.
I don't think it was.
Was it not a ticket?
I don't think so. It was server 2 Red Bull Ring. Sven posted it, so you should be able to download it from there, maybe.
All right, give me 2 seconds then, because I have got Giga internet,
Maybe.
so as long as it exists, I should be able to get it. Oh, it's on Wii.
Yeah.
It's
We saw that and we laughed at you.
It's on Wii Transfer and it's saying no longer available, so I can't get it.
Hold up.
Holy.
I'll see if I have it. Is
that you? Was that you who did the 50-meter thing? Because someone did that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Someone did that. I forgot about that. Yeah. Because didn't Fengler in the briefing say the breaking point is 50 meters? It's like, oh, fucking challenge accepted, dude. I just went on. Maybe I'm not gonna scroll through and find it, but yeah, mate, we can rename. We can rename it. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
I'll hold on, Chris. I'll give you the replay in a minute.
All right, mate.
I'm just.
While we wait for that, then.
There you go. On its way.
Oh, nice. Is it a DM?
Yes, a DM for you, mate.
DM. So while I'm killing time, waiting for this, would you like to look at anything in particular? Have you had an incident that wasn't your fault? Or was your fault and you want us to have a look at it? So I think we've covered a lot of things. We've sort of gone over lat ones. We've seen some spicy rejoins. We've seen some incidents that weren't reported. We've seen some NFAs. We've seen some racing incidents. We've seen a few war crimes. I made a stupid. We all made stupid moves at Mazzano, mate.
We absolutely have.
We've all done that shit.
Also, another way to prove that us stewards were not perfect. The first race I was a steward, I caused a multi-car incident.
Was that Watkins Glen?
No, that was older. I applied to be a steward, then did the race, caused a multi-car incident, and then called in for an interview, and I said, look, I fucked up.
I don't even remember how I got into stewarding. I can't remember.
No, around the same time, I think, maybe a little bit earlier.
I can't remember. Right, your DM
back in season 5.
I've been doing
That's
this
just
a
over
while
10
now.
seasons ago. Yeah.
I've been doing this shit a while. Right, it's downloaded. Let me just move it into the folder. Then we'll go and have a look at. Because someone else asked something about Red Bull Ring earlier for server 2. So let's just go and have a little gander at it. And then we'll wrap up because I've got work in the morning. So I can't get it too lit. There we go. Thank you all for joining me, by the way, tonight. It's I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, evening. Right. You didn't fuck up, Paul.
Yes, he did.
Fucking yeah, I remember seeing this though. Oh my god. Oh days. Oh my days. Oh well. I guess it made your race more interesting. Did you genuinely do that because you thought Fengler was telling the truth at the 50-metre thing? Yeah, mate. We've all fucked up a start. Mate, David, it's fine, mate. I enjoy doing this stuff. Like, yeah, I enjoy doing this. Doing this shit beats just sitting typing up documents 10 times out of 10. So I'll try and do this more often. But I say that every time, and then it's months before I do another one. Yeah, so I think unless there's anything specific anyone wants to have a look at, I think it's wrap up time, people. Yeah, if you're interested in becoming a steward, DM Lewis. He's head steward. He runs the team. Throw him a DM and he'll talk to you about it. We can't guarantee that just because you ask you'll be brought on. We have to obviously vet, we might even run a test. Yeah. If you're interested in doing it, if you're interested in helping ERA in any way whatsoever, promotional stuff, just DM one of the staff, DM Miles, because he's like one of the admins, and I'm sure we can get something sorted for you. I don't know where the breaking point is. That's why the Thursday races are so important, because they help you practice that. But it gives us something to laugh at, Bram. So all good, dude. Yeah, no, thanks for letting me do this shit and having fun with us. And I look at DMs. Yeah, he does. He looks at nudes all the time. He don't get a choice of my stuff. And yeah, thanks for giving us countless entertainment on a Sunday night. Please try not to crash as much in the remainder of the season. Thomas will back me up that I've genuinely lost my mind in 2 stewards meetings this season.
In a row.
In a row. I was getting delirious at one point. And it was, I think that meeting crack on for like 4 hours.
Something like that.
It was a bit crazy. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. We'll try and do another one of these. Go on, Thomas. I'll let you do your thing, mate.
Here's for you all. Here's a fun graphic of all the recorded incidents so far this year.
Oh yeah. Right. Can I bring this up on stream for the benefit of the stream?
Posted it in the. Yeah, you can do that.
I'll try. I'll save it and then I'll try and import it.
Yep.
So you look in chat. So the chat within top left. I think Lewis made this because he had a bit too much time on his hands.
Yes.
But essentially,
yes,
he looked at. Let me just add it as an image in here, quick. Let me just do it on the stream. Right, I'm about to take. If you're watching on YouTube, you're about to get jump scared. So this is going back to season 13. 50 tickets, Bram. 50. So if you think the stewarding team have had to look at every one of those incidents and deliberate, and this isn't counting appeals, so there are appeals as well. This is just lap 1 and tickets, and you can see which tracks are crashy, and it's typically the opening rounds, and then it's sort of the last few rounds people tend to behave a bit more. But season 13, Zolder broke the ticket bot. There was so many.
Yeah. We had so many tickets, we couldn't open more tickets, so we had to make like backup tickets and all of that stuff.
And bear in mind as well, I don't know if they take out duplicates out of that and all that sort of stuff. So that figure is actually higher. We just take out a lot of the duplicates. Ironically, the wet races don't tend to be as bad because people are already quite cautious. Red Bull Ring was a bit of an exception because of Turn 3. Turn 3 existed. But yeah, Watkins Glen wasn't bad at all.
Split 1 was exceptional.
Yeah.
Or Watkins wet.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was like Zolder again, where we expected chaos and it just didn't. It never happened. Yeah, it was ridiculous. That was a bloody good race. That. Yeah, we just had like one incident. So we had.
We love it when we don't have work to do.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll get that off the screen now. Yeah, well, look, yeah, it happens. Learn a split. Right, so I'm going to conclude the YouTube stream. So if you're watching on YouTube, we might keep chatting on Discord for a little bit. But I'm going to conclude the YouTube stream right here. Thanks for watching. Join ERA or the puppy gets it. Good night.